Hello, everybody. So I had to do a video about this because this is so very exciting to me. Like coming across a statement quite this stupid, and I think it's actually very rare that you come across statements quite this stupid. Because I was watching an Earthling Ed's video earlier entitled "Is this why veganism could be doomed to fail?" An optimistic video with an unoptimistic title, though it's just yet again more vegan propaganda. So the comment I posted initially, for once, why don't you start report on how sustainable the coconut and soy industries are. As I understand it, they started flattening unprecedented areas of the Amazon and Indonesian rainforest to provide an expanding vegan market with alternatives to meat and dairy. Luckily, that was in the mid to late 80s, where, as you know, we had a remarkable surplus of meat and dairy products. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit droll. So yeah, like this is when the lion's share of the deforestation in the Amazon kicked off, because there was a burgeoning market for burgeoning demand for soy produce in the West, in Europe and North America, around sort of this time in the late 70s and early 80s. So and yeah, this is like when the initial like soy boom in the West kicked off, and a lot of the deforestation happened in the Amazon, I would have imagined, to service that demand for soy oil, which is what we get soy milk from. It's also what we get tofu from. So yeah, Brazilian farmers would have been cutting down the Amazon rainforest to make way for soy plantations, which I'm sorry to say, and this is what vegans love to parry this with. They say, it's all about beef farming. The soy is for beef farming. It's like, no, the soy meal is for beef farming, which forms 80% of the crop by mass. Okay, so so therefore 80% of the soy, right, goes to livestock. Now this is highly misleading, because while the soy oil, the bit that we consume, while that's only 20% of the crop, right, by mass, it forms 60% of the crop's value at market. Okay, so still by far the most valuable part of the crop is the soy oil. It's the bit that we consume. Then we can't consume the rest of it because we don't have because we're not ruminants, so we can't digest, for instance, the rest of the soy plant that isn't soy oil. We can't digest soy meal, so we have to feed it to livestock to recover nutrients from it, because we don't have a choice. We have to feed it to them, and this is the major point that vegans fall down upon again and again and again and again. So we consume a little bit of a crop. There is then a surplus that we can't consume. It isn't fit for human consumption. We have to do something to that. More often than not, we feed that surplus to livestock. So but this is the comment. I've finally gotten to the comment. So this is the comment that this guy called James Byrne, 3033, 3 hours ago, on YouTube responded with, real question, who do you think you're going to fool with this remarks? I wasn't hoping to fool anyone. I was hoping to inform people as to the truth of what's been going on with vegan economics. Surely you're aware that anyone with any common sense knows that it takes more land and crops to feed 8 billion humans plus another 70 billion farm animals, but it does to just feed 8 billion humans alone. Like, think about quite how stupid that is. Just think about how stupid that is. Like, just to feed 8 billion humans alone. Like it's as if, like, I don't. This is what I had to respond with. So I responded with, I've taken a screenshot of this because it's rare to come across statements quite this stupid. If you had any common sense, you'd realise that it doesn't take any more land to feed the animals because we eat them. This is so indicative of the unbelievable levels of ignorance within your. Yeah, well, it is. It's indicative of the unbelievable levels of ignorance within their movement. Because like, we eat the animals, firstly because we have to. That's the other thing. There's no other way of feeding everyone other than by feeding things to livestock, then eating the livestock. It's like a subtle and like nuance. Like, nuance roughly means subtle, but it's a subtlety there that is not all that subtle, that vegans just will not fucking wrap their heads around. Like, feed 8 billion people alone. With what exactly? What are you going to feed them with? Most of the farmland on this planet, as vegans again rightly point out, is grazed by animals. So, like, about half the farmland in the United Kingdom is given over to pasture for animal production, for livestock production. For instance, like, we can't cultivate crops on it. That's the basic reason. The soil type doesn't lend itself to mechanical cultivation, and moreover, the soil is too heavy. It's too much like clay soil. So it's not aerated enough and things like this for seeds to germinate within it. So we can't cultivate it for crops. Therefore, we have to graze livestock on it. It's not good for anything else. And like, that's also how we recover nutrients from, like, on the one hand, yes, we feed quite a lot of crops to livestock in terms of like maize silage and so on. And then we also graze livestock quite a lot. Grass is a crop in its own right. It's often crop for silage. If it's not crop for silage, it's grazed, right? So yeah, and then via enteric fermentation in ruminants, is broken down into energy that they consume, and protein for themselves to repair their cells and whatnot. Then we eat them. Right? That's our modus operandi as a farming species. That's basically what we've been doing for thousands of years. So like, it's not like you can just snap your fingers and get rid of that system. It doesn't work like that. I don't know what to say about this, and like, I want to go on like more about the precision fermentation thing. I just know at the heart of that precision fermentation thing, if it was ever come online in a major way, it would eventually entail further ecological devastation, like more ecological disasters as a result of that sort of crap entering the market than would otherwise happen. It'd be exactly the same thing that happened with soy, and yeah. And exactly the same thing happens now with coconuts, and you get like vegan cheese made out of coconut. I was like, please stop eating it. Like, really, what is that wrong? What is all that wrong with being a vegetarian? Like, just eat cheese, or like eat a vegan diet if you want to. But I mean, I really don't like telling people what to eat either. But yeah, it's so fucking upsetting and stressful. I've encountered people who are this fucking dim. Feed 8 billion human beings alone. What would we be feeding them with? I'm like, the crops, you feed them animals, and like, you don't know. You don't know enough about what you're talking about to have an opinion about it. That's really why I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because of the bullshit. Like, I've grown up around agriculture. I've been raised around it. It's like the science that I grew up with. So when I see someone talk like this level of bullshit about something that you know fuck all about, it upsets me. And yeah, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. You've had like no exposure to agriculture systems. Like, you don't know anything about it. You know fuck all about farming if you don't know that, like, the reason livestock farming exists, the reason for it is not just because we like meat. It's because we do cultivate crops that most of which can't be utilized by us unless we feed it to livestock. And the precision fermentation, nonsense. Don't go near any of that shit. Don't buy that stuff. If you must be vegan, try and eat, if you can, healthily. I don't know if you can actually. You probably can't, is what I'm tempted to say, about a locally sourced vegan diet. Source all your produce like I can with meat, dairy, and I can eat a healthy diet consuming produce that was just grown here in the UK and the EU. And probably, just grown here in the UK. Maybe if I had a bit more money, probably. But yeah, like, almost everything I eat comes from the UK or the EU. I eat very little actually that comes from the rest of the world. I don't eat rice. Don't agree. It was me thing. Not sure I care about the beef emissions from rice actually, but There we go. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye bye. Please just don't believe this nonsense.